My mother-in-law invited everyone to a big family gathering. She told me I wasn't really part of the family. I just said okay and then surprised her by reading something from a paper. Her face turned pale. Welcome to cheat sheet tales where loyalty dies, lies bleed out, and the truth hits like a slap to the face. These aren't just stories. They're confessions soaked in betrayal and regret. Ever spotted a red flag when it was already too late? Say it in the comments. Let's tear into today's tale. Hi, I'm Ava, and I'm 27 years old. 3 years old. 3 years ago, I married Ethan, who is the most wonderful person I've ever met. He's kind and funny, and he makes me feel really good every single day. But there's a bit of a snag. His mom, Lillian, isn't exactly my biggest fan. She's always had it in for me ever since we met. I get it. Though, Ethan is her precious son, and she doesn't want him to get hurt. She's just trying to look out for him. But sometimes she goes a bit too far. She's the kind of person who might do little things that bother you on purpose, making you feel like you're the one who's being unreasonable. You know how we all have someone like that in our lives, right? Unfortunately for me, that someone is my mother-in-law. But I'm a bit different. I'm the kind of person who speaks up when something isn't right, and I don't hold back. I think that's why Hugo likes me. He's more quiet and gentle, and they say opposites attract, don't they? I've studied a bit of psychology, so I can tell when someone has not so nice intentions. I think our strong personalities clash, which might be why she said something not so nice the first time we met. Ava, shouldn't you cut down on your food? Everyone at the table fell silent, shocked by the unexpected comment. I felt deeply embarrassed, my face turning pale with humiliation. The table included me, my boyfriend Ethan, my father-in-law Robert, and Lillian, Ethan's mother. Robert seemed too taken aback to say anything, lowering his head in solidarity with my embarrassment. Ethan, feeling a mix of embarrassment and anger, promptly scolded his mother. Mom, seriously? That's a terrible thing to say. Ava can eat whatever she likes. Oh honey, I didn't mean to upset you. I just want what's best for you. You know, I've noticed you've gained some weight. Ethan showed me your old photos, and you looked so much better back then. I mean, not that you don't look good now, but I'm just trying to help. I tried to stay calm, not wanting to make a scene since it was my first time meeting the family. And I really liked Ethan, even though I was embarrassed and irritated. I didn't say anything back. I just smiled politely and thanked her for her advice. Unfortunately, situations like that kept happening more often as we spent more time together. I hoped the teasing would stop once Lillian realized I was good for her son. But it only got worse. On the bright side, I was getting along well with my father-in-law Robert, who was incredibly kind. While I grew closer to everyone in Ethan's family, Lillian seemed to be the only one who didn't like me, and it was hard to figure out why. I even met Mason, Ethan's childhood friend, who was practically part of the family. Despite everyone else being welcoming, Lillian remained the exception. I felt grateful for the love and support I received from the rest of Ethan's family. However, things took a turn on my wedding day. Lillian seemed determined to make trouble and tried to undermine me at every turn. She insisted my hair should be styled a certain way, like hers was on her wedding day. No, I want my hair like this, not in a napto. Thanks for your suggestion, Lillian. I disagree. You look really unattractive. The bridal party gasped, but I wasn't surprised. I got used to Lillian's comments. She tried to backtrack quickly. Oh darling, I just knew you could look better. And I see a bit of myself in Ava. She's a bright young woman, even though I looked better at her age. She's beautiful in her own way. My father-in-law managed to stop Lillian's harsh comments that day, but the hurt lingered. It wasn't like me to stay quiet and let it go. This constant negativity was wearing me down, making me lose my usual energy. Fast forward 3 years to today. We were at Ethan's parents' house for dinner, including Mason, so it seemed important. She wanted to share something with us, and I suspected it wasn't just a random dinner plan. Turns out I was right. It was a nice surprise. But things took a turn when my mother-in-law started making an announcement. She had everyone's attention as she pulled out a piece of paper. Hey everyone, I have something important to share. Since my birthday is coming up, I wanted to let you all know about my special plans. I decided we're going to Hawaii. She showed us the paper confirming the trip. Wow, that sounds amazing. What? That's fantastic, Ava. Hawaii sounds like a dream. Oh wow, this is incredible news. I'm thrilled beyond words. Thank you so much, Mom. Actually, you're not coming. Wait, what? Honey, what do you mean? That wasn't the plan. I made some changes last minute and canceled her ticket to avoid extra charges. So, my ticket was already purchased and she just canceled it. Why does she dislike me so much? Mom, what's going on? Mason and I stayed silent as the tension escalated and harsh words flew back and forth. Eventually, Lillian reluctantly spoke up after being pressed for an explanation. Okay, fine. I'll tell you why I decided Ava shouldn't come to this family event. As I'm getting older, I want to spend my time with the people I care about most. Unfortunately, Ava isn't on that list. Seriously, Mom? That's so hurtful. There's nothing wrong with me. Don't disrespect me. I'm just saying, well, Ava isn't technically family since she's not related by blood. Why that logic? Mason shouldn't go either, right? He's not technically family as you're saying, but we all know that's ridiculous. He's part of the family, and since Ethan and Ava got married, she's family too. While Mason is different, he's our precious angel. He's always been here, but Ava hasn't. That's why I'm not comfortable with her coming on the trip. It's my birthday, so I get to decide. Come on, Ava. We're leaving now. No. When I firmly said no, it grabbed everyone's attention, including Lillian's, who had been trying to hide a smile. But when I spoke up, her smile vanished. Lillian, you've made it obvious from the start that you don't like me. I've put up with your behavior for 3 years. Do you really think we don't notice how you act? You're a narcissist. Watch your tone, young lady. You're in my house, and I won't be staying much longer. Actually, I'm leaving right now. But before I go, I need to say something. I looked at my husband, whose eyes were filled with anger as he stared at his mother. Sweetheart, I love you more than anything. And I've tried to make this work for so long, but it's clear note that your mother will never accept this family. And no matter what I do, she'll always have a problem with me. You should go on this trip. It's important, and you can't miss it. Despite how difficult your mother can be, she's still your mother, and you love her. So, you should go. Don't worry about me. I'll be okay. Then I turned to my mother-in-law, whose mouth hung open in shock at my words. And as for you, I'm sorry to say, but I love your son, and I'm not going anywhere. You might try to push me away, but I'll always be here. Even when you're in Hawaii, you'll still be thinking about me. Because let's be real, I think you're obsessed with me. How dare you? I should slap you right now. I'm not finished. You are obsessed with me. You're obsessed with tearing me down, and I can't understand why, when I've only shown you kindness and patience, even when you didn't deserve it. But enough is enough. If you don't want me to go to Hawaii with you, fine. If you don't think I'm part of the family, fine, but I'll always be here. As long as I'm alive, I'll be here for Ethan, Robert, and even Mason, but never for you. That moment, I realized I finally silenced her. She stood there with her mouth hanging open, seemingly at a loss for words. For once, I'd managed to keep her quiet. I said my goodbyes to the rest of the family, gave my husband a kiss on the cheek, and headed towards the door. Let me drive you home at least. I can't let you take a cab. Please don't worry about me, honey. I love you, and thank you for loving me. But I'll be fine. You have a trip to plan. All right, if you say you'll be okay, I'll trust you. Oh, don't forget your purse. Ah, my purse. I left it in the kitchen. Later on, Lillian went into the kitchen, maybe to take a moment after the intense situation. After being confronted like that, I'd need a breather too. What do you want? Don't worry about me, honey. I'm just here to get my things. Well, hurry up. I want you out of my house. I can't believe you said those things to me. With that, she stormed out, too angry to even see me off. I rolled my eyes at her dramatic and reached for my purse. Next to it, I noticed a piece of paper with Lillian's handwriting. I assumed it was the trip itinerary, feeling a bit bitter about not going. Curiosity got the better of me. So I grabbed it and started reading. Dear Mason, you've always been like a son to me, and I love you dearly. Oh, it's a letter to Mason. That's a bit unexpected, but I suppose it's nice. As I continued reading, my curiosity got the best of me. The love and care you've shown me over the years will never be forgotten. I hate to admit it, but even when it comes to my son Ethan, I feel like the love we once shared is fading. Wait, what? She loves Mason more than Ethan? That doesn't make sense. As I continued to read the letter, each line shocked me more than the last. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. There was so much to process, and although it wasn't right for me to read the letter, I'm grateful I did. After finishing it, I paced in the kitchen trying to figure out what to do. Then it hit me. Everyone who needed to know about this letter was in the other room. It was time to act. I read the letter again to confirm what I had seen. Yep, it was the same shocking content. I walked back into the dining room where only 3 pairs of eyes met mine. Jenin, I'm so sorry for what Lillian is putting you through. Don't worry, you're coming to Hawaii with us. She's just going through a rough patch, but I'll talk to her and make her change her mind. I don't know what's gotten into her lately, but I'll fix it. Robert said. Robert, please don't worry about me. I'm fine. Actually, I found something interesting that I need to share with everyone, especially Ethan. Ethan and Mason looked concerned. Ethan might have thought he was about to ask for a divorce. Whenever I complained about his mother, he'd agree and wonder how I put up with it. I always told him it was because I loved him too much to leave, and that I'd go through anything for him. I noticed Lillian wasn't here. Where is she? She needs to be part of this too. I mentioned earlier she seemed a bit off after your confrontation. She said she got a headache and wanted to rest upstairs. She won't be down for a while. You know how she is about her beauty sleep. I sighed, irritated by Lillian's habits that inconvenience others. This is really important. She needs to be here. It's okay, Ava. You can tell us, and we'll let her know when she wakes up. I hesitated, wanting Lillian to hear this firsthand, but I knew this couldn't wait. All right, but make sure she reads these as soon as she wakes up. I held up the letter. Everyone's eyes locked on it. What's that? Ethan asked, confused. It's something I found in the kitchen. A letter from your mother. I paused for a moment, letting the tension build, feeling the weight of every word he was about to say. A letter to Mason. Mason's eyebrows furrowed. To me. Why would she write me a letter? That's exactly what I wondered, I said, unfolding it slowly. The room went silent. Even the sound of my own breathing felt too loud. I began to read aloud, my voice steady, though inside, my heart was racing. Dear Mason, you've always been like a son to me, and I love you dearly. I glanced up. Mason's face had gone pale. The love and care you've shown me over the years will never be forgotten. I continued, my voice rising slightly with each sentence. I hate to admit it, but even when it comes to my son, Ethan, I feel like the love we once shared is fading. Ethan's jaw clenched. Wait, what? I read the next line slowly, to make sure there was no mistake. If I could choose all over again, I'd want someone like you, Mason, to take care of me and this family. Robert let out a low whistle. This is wow. I lowered the letter, my hand trembling slightly. There's more, a lot more, but I think you all need to hear it from her. I walked toward Ethan and handed him the letter. Read it. See for yourself. Ethan took it, his fingers tightening around the papyrus. His eyes scanned each line. The silence was thick, broken only by the sound of him turning the page. After a long moment, he set the letter down on the table. I don't even know what to say. Why would she write this? Mason leaned back in his chair, shaking his head. I have no idea. This feels wrong. Robert looked between us. Do you think she, likes Mason more than her own son? I sighed. It's not just about that. This letter, it says things none of us expected. Things she's been hiding. Ethan rubbed his forehead. We need to talk to her. Right now. And no one moved. We all stared at the ceiling, as if we could hear Lillian's thoughts upstairs. I'll go get her, Ethan finally said, his voice hardening. I'll go get her, Ethan finally said, his voice hardening. He stood up, pushing his chair back with a sharp scrape, and headed for the stairs. The rest of us waited in tense silence, listening to the faint sound of footsteps above. Mom? Ethan's voice echoed from the hallway. We need to talk. A moment later, we heard her irritated response. I told you, Ethan, I have a headache. Let me rest. No, Mom. This can't wait. Come downstairs. There was a pause, then the sound of footsteps, slow and reluctant, descending the stairs. Lillian appeared, her face still flushed with anger, but also curious. What is it now? Ethan crossed his arms. We found your letter. To Mason. Her eyes widened, the color draining from her cheeks. What letter? Don't play games with me. Ethan held up the paper. This. Lillian froze, her gaze flicking to Mason, then to me, and finally back to Ethan. Where did you find that? She asked, her voice trembling. In the kitchen, I answered. Next to my purse. She opened her mouth to speak, but no words came out. Mom, Ethan said firmly, why would you write something like this? Why would you say you love Mason more than your own son? Tears welled up in her eyes, and for the first time, she looked vulnerable. I didn't mean it like that. she whispered. You don't understand. Then explain it, Ethan demanded. Lillian sank into a chair, her hands shaking. Mason, he's always been there for me. When things got hard, he helped me more than anyone. Sometimes, I feel like I'm losing you, Ethan. Losing me? Ethan's voice cracked. I'm your son. How could you think that? Because you're married now. Because I feel like I don't matter anymore. Silence filled the room. The weight of her confession hung in the air. I took a deep breath and stepped forward. Lillian, you don't need to compete with me. I'm not here to take Ethan away. I'm here because I love him and I want this family to work. But I can't do it if you keep treating me like an enemy. She looked at me, tears rolling down her cheeks. I'm sorry. The room remained quiet, the tension slowly melting as her apology settled in. Ethan knelt beside his mother, placing a hand on hers. Mom, we all love you, but you need to stop this. Lillian nodded weakly. I'll try. I turned to Mason, who still looked stunned. And as for you, I think you deserve to read that letter and decide what it means to you. Mason gave a small hesitant nod. After a long pause, Ethan took my hand. We'll work through this, all of us. For the first time that day, I believed him. To hear this too. I think you should just tell us, honey. It's okay. And you know, Ethan struggles with anxiety. It's not good to keep him waiting. That was true. Ethan's anxiety was noticeable, and I didn't want to add to it. Okay, fine. I'll show you what I found when I was in the kitchen getting ready to leave. It's something important that you all need to know about. I pulled out the paper and began to read. It says, Dearest Mason, you've always been like a son to me, and I love you dearly. The love and care you've shown me won't be forgotten. But even when it comes to my son, Ethan, I feel like our love isn't the same. What does this mean? As I continued reading, the words sent shockwaves through the room. Ethan, things between us just aren't the same anymore. And I think it's because of Ava. Since he married her, he's drifted away from me. He doesn't love me anymore. And so, I don't think I love him either. But you're my son, and I love you. I've decided to update my wealth so that you inherit everything. Not Ethan. I know it might hurt him, but I don't care anymore. That Ava girl is to blame. She's poisoned my feelings for him. I hope you understand. I didn't want to tell you in person because I couldn't bear to see the rejection on your face. I know you love Ethan like a brother and you might not approve, but I don't care. Everything, the money, the house, the cars, even my businesses, they're all yours. If you want to talk about it, Mark, call me. I love you forever. Your second mom. When I finished reading, the room was filled with a mix of emotions. Robert looked like he might cry. Mason was stunned, but Ethan looked furious, like he was ready to explode. I can't believe she said all that. Is she serious? She cut me out of her will just because of Ava. She's gone mad. I am speechless. This is too much. I'm done with her toxic behavior. What do we do now? In that moment, an idea struck me. 1 week passed, and it was time for the planned Hawaii trip. Lillian woke up to find a note from her husband on her bedside table. Good morning, beautiful. We decided to let you sleep in a bit longer. Don't worry, your bags are all packed. Just meet us at the airport. Lillian quickly got ready and headed to the airport. Searching anxiously for her family members, she tried calling them, but nobody picked up. Assuming they were already on the plane, she hurriedly boarded her flight, hoping to meet them in Hawaii. She endured the 12-hour flight, and once she landed, Lillian video called Robert. Hello, Robert. Where are you guys? I woke up late and saw your note, which was cute if I hadn't slept in. I got to the airport and tried calling, but no one answered. I assumed you had already boarded, but now we're in Hawaii. How exciting. Where are you? Let's meet up and start the fun. That won't be happening, Lillian. What do you mean? Where are you? I'm at home. What? I'm at home. We're all at home. Say hi, everyone. Robert showed Lillian on his phone that they were all sitting at the dining table where they received the upsetting news a week ago. What do you mean? Why are you at home? You see, Lillian, Ava shared some eye-opening information with us last week. Since then, we decided we'd rather spend our time in Florida with her than anywhere else with you. Lillian gasped. You think I wouldn't find out? Find out what, dear? Oh, don't try to sweet-talk me. You were really planning to cut me out of the will. Mom, hi. How did you even find out about that? That girl you despised, Ava, found your letter in the kitchen. I don't know what you're talking about. Lillian, lying won't help. Mason, you have to believe me. I didn't do anything like that. We all read the letter. Lillian, it's over. But I didn't do anything. Ava is lying. Oh really? You're so pathetic. It's nauseating. We all know the truth. Thank goodness I found that letter. Ethan, Robert, please. No, Lillian, enough. You're done. You don't get to say anything. Your hatred blinded you, and now you have to face the consequences of being alone on your birthday because of your actions. Use this time to reflect, but I'll be alone. It won't be fun. Maybe people would want to hang out with you if you weren't so unpleasant. Enjoy. With that, Robert ended the call. We all sighed with relief, and I couldn't help but start laughing. Ethan joined in, and soon we were all laughing. At the absurdity of it all, Lillian's shocked expression was priceless. Her face went pale, and I could see her embarrassment. We laughed at the dining table, relieved that the truth was out. Lillian spent her vacation alone, desperately calling Robert to join her to avoid canceling expensive reservations. However, Robert refused, insisting on setting ground rules for their marriage upon her return. Lillian's attitude changed drastically, becoming apologetic and frantic. Surprising everyone, Ethan made it clear that Lillian needed a major attitude adjustment to remain in his life or he'd leave her. He warned that any disrespect would result in him cutting ties. Mason realized he needed to stop enabling Lillian's behavior by being overly nice. Lillian's trip turned miserable, and she risked losing the most important people in her life. Her relationships with them became rocky, and she faced the challenge of change. I told Lillian I needed time to forgive her, refusing to intervene on her behalf. Despite her apologies, Lillian still tries to mend the broken relationships she caused. I hope she learned her lesson from this experience.